Somewhere between your first dollar and your first 100,000, life begins to change. Not because of the money, but because of you. The first 100,000 isn't just a number, it's a transformation. It's when discipline becomes identity, when patience becomes power. You stop chasing paychecks and start building freedom. That first dollar, 100K, doesn't just grow in your account, it grows inside you. And once you cross that threshold, you'll never think about money the same way again. Let me tell you something. The first 100,000 is the hardest, but also the most important. It's not the climb that's tough. It's the habits you must become along the way. The discipline to say no. The patience to wait. The vision to keep going when results are invisible. The first 100,000 is your proof. Proof that you can create wealth from willpower, not luck. After that, you don't just have money, you have mastery. You know, everyone wants to talk about the first $100,000 as if it's some kind of magic number. But here's the truth. It's not the money that changes your life. It's the discipline it takes to earn it, save it, and keep it. The first dollar, 100K, is the training ground. It's not the finish line, it's where the game truly begins. You see, when you build that first 100,000, you're not just stacking dollars, you're stacking habits, decisions, and mindset shifts that will serve you for a lifetime. The millionaire you want to become is born long before the million arrives. I remember when I first started out, I wanted results, fast. I wanted wealth to show up at my doorstep simply because I worked hard. But hard work alone isn't the secret. The key is consistency, the kind of steady effort that compounds day after day. When you start saving your first few thousand, it feels insignificant. You wonder if it even matters. But it's not about the amount, it's about who you're becoming in the process. That dollar you choose to save instead of spend is a vote for your future self. Every time you delay gratification, you strengthen the muscle of discipline. And discipline, my friends, is the real currency of wealth. The poor say, when I get more, I'll be disciplined. The first dollar, 100K, is where you prove to yourself that you can command your own impulses, that you can delay pleasure, that you can sacrifice comfort for purpose. Because after that, the same principles that got you to dollar, 100K are the ones that will get you to $1 million. Now let's talk about strategy. You've got to make saving automatic, non-negotiable. If you wait until you feel like saving, you'll never save. Automate it. Let discipline happen in the background. Build a system that removes emotion from the equation. Then, build your lifestyle below your means. 2 steps behind, not ahead. That extra room between what you earn and what you spend is where your wealth will live. I used to track every dollar, and let me tell you, awareness is the first step to control. You can't manage what you don't measure. If you don't know where your money is going, it's probably going somewhere it shouldn't. Write it down, watch it daily, and stay accountable to your goals. The first dollar, 100K, will test your patience, your discipline, and your resilience. You'll be tempted to quit, to reward yourself early, to compare your progress to others. Don't. Stay the course. Because the lessons learned while earning that first 100,000 are the same lessons that will keep your millions from slipping away later. Remember, the money isn't the victory, you are. The person you become through the process is worth far more than the number in your account. Once you've mastered yourself, the rest of the money simply follows. Let me tell you something that changed my life early on. Most people get the entire equation of money backward. They earn, they spend, and then they try to save what's left. But here's the truth, there's never anything left. Why? Because expenses expand to fill the space you give them. The more you make, the more you find to spend on. A new car, a better phone, fancier dinners, and then you look at your account and wonder where it all went. The wealthy don't play that game. They've learned a different rhythm. They save first and spend what's left. You see, saving first isn't just a financial tactic. It's a declaration of who's in control. It's saying, I run my money doesn't run me. Every time you pay yourself first, you're casting a vote for your future. You're saying, I value tomorrow as much as today. And that shift in mindset is where wealth begins. When I started earning, I remember thinking, I'll start saving once I make more. But here's what I discovered. If you can't save $10 out of $100, you won't save $10,000 out of $100,000. Saving is a habit, not a number. The principle is simple. Take a fixed percentage from every dollar you earn right off the top before it ever gets a chance to leave your hands. Start with 10% if you must. And as you grow, push that to 20, then 30. The goal isn't to see how much you can spend, it's to see how much you can keep. The beauty of saving first is that it forces your spending to adjust automatically. When you pay yourself before you pay the world, you create boundaries that protect your wealth. Imagine your savings like a bill you owe your future self. You wouldn't skip your rent, your taxes, or your electricity, would you? Then why skip your savings? It's the most important payment you'll ever make. And don't rely on willpower alone, automate it. Set it up so that a portion of your income goes directly into savings or investment accounts the moment it arrives. Remove emotion from the process because the mind is too good at rationalizing impulsive spending. Automation is quiet discipline. It doesn't ask for permission. It just performs. Now, what happens over time is something extraordinary. That savings begins to grow, slowly at first, almost invisible, but as it compounds, something shifts. You start to see the power of consistency. You stop chasing every shiny thing because you're too focused on building something real. You start to feel a sense of control, confidence, and security that money alone can't buy. Saving first is how you break free from financial survival mode. It's how you move from reaction to intention, from scarcity to abundance. Because the moment you choose to save before you spend, you've chosen to build a future, not just live a present. And once that habit is built, wealth no longer feels distant. It becomes inevitable. So remember, don't wait to see what's left. Pay yourself first, no matter how small it seems, because every dollar saved is a brick laid in the foundation of your financial freedom. And the stronger the foundation, the taller your fortune can rise. If there's one thing I learned early in life, it's that income is rarely an accident. It's not the lottery ticket, the lucky break, or the right connections that make you wealthy. It's you. Your income will never exceed your personal growth. The marketplace doesn't pay you for time. It pays you for the value you bring within that time. And value is born from skill, sharpened, tested, and refined through discipline. Too many people look at someone successful and think they're lucky. But luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. The problem is, most people aren't prepared when opportunity comes knocking. You can't harvest in a field you never planted. So instead of waiting for luck, build yourself into someone so skilled, so capable, that opportunity can't help but find you. When I was younger, I remember sweeping floors and earning a small wage. I didn't complain about the pay. I studied the process. I asked questions. I learned how the business worked. And before long, I realized that if I could solve bigger problems, I could earn bigger pay. The moment I stopped asking, why don't they pay me more? And started asking, how can I make myself worth more? That's when my life changed. You see, money is not a mystery. It flows to those who solve valuable problems. And if you want to raise your income, raise your skill. Each year, aim to add one new income-producing ability to your toolkit, something the world needs, respects, and will pay well for. Learn how to sell, how to communicate, how to lead, how to invest, how to build systems. Every skill you master becomes another lever that lifts your value in the marketplace. It's not enough to wish for more, you must become more. Take courses, find mentors, read books, trade an hour of entertainment for an hour of education every single day. The hours you give to Netflix or social media are hours that could have been spent shaping the person who commands higher pay, greater respect, and deeper freedom. And the beauty is, the return on investment here is exponential. Once you learn something valuable, no one can take it from you. You carry that skill everywhere you go. The world rewards expertise, not mediocrity. The reason the top earners earn more isn't just because they work harder, it's because they work smarter. They've trained themselves to be irreplaceable. While others are chasing distractions, they're mastering their craft. And when you reach that level, when your skills become undeniable, you'll never have to chase money again. The marketplace will seek you out. Your income will grow naturally because your value has grown first. So stop hoping for luck. Start building your leverage. Because luck may open a door, but only skill keeps it open. Learn, apply, and improve until your results can't be ignored. The day you commit to growth is the day you stop waiting for miracles and start creating them. Every dollar that passes through your hands is a worker, and you have to decide what kind of job you'll give it. Most people send their dollars out to buy things that rust, rot, or depreciate. The wealthy, on the other hand, send theirs to bring back more friends. That's the difference between the rich and the struggling. One group makes money work for them, the other keeps working for money. Now, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep and where you put what you keep. Because money has only two paths. It can serve you or it can enslave you. Every time you buy a liability, something that takes money out of your pocket, you tighten the chains of financial dependence. But every time you buy an asset, something that puts money into your pocket, you loosen those chains a little more. When I was younger, I used to think that if I could just earn more, I'd be set. But I learned quickly that income alone doesn't build wealth, habits do. I've known people who earn six figures and still live paycheck to paycheck because every time their income went up, their spending went up even faster. They bought new cars, bigger homes, and shinier gadgets, but not a single thing that made them money while they slept. They confused motion with progress and comfort with growth. The truth is, wealth comes when you turn your earned income into owned income, money that no longer requires your constant effort to exist. The rich don't aim to spend more, they aim to own more. They buy things that generate cash flow. Stocks that pay dividends, real estate that pays rent, businesses that produce profits, intellectual property that earns royalties. Their money is never idle. It's always on assignment. The discipline here is to resist the temptation of lifestyle inflation. Every raise, every bonus, every extra dollar you earn, most people immediately ask, what can I buy? The wealthy ask, what can I build? Because the goal isn't to look rich, it's to be rich. And that difference shows up in where your money goes. The middle class buys comfort, the rich buy freedom. Start small if you must. Buy a share of stock, not a pair of shoes. Invest in a skill, not a thrill. When your investments start producing returns, don't spend them, reinvest them. Let your dollars breed more dollars. Over time, the compounding effect will surprise you. A few disciplined years of reinvestment can replace decades of hard labor. It's simple but not easy. Delay gratification now for multiplied gratification later. Every asset you buy today is one less hour you'll have to work tomorrow. The ultimate goal is to create a system where your money earns even when you don't. That's when you cross from surviving to thriving, from being a worker to being an owner. So every time money lands in your hands, pause and ask yourself a simple question. Will this dollar serve me, or will it enslave me? Your answer to that question, repeated over years, will determine your destiny. The road to your first $100,000 is not a casual stroll. It's a test of focus, persistence, and clarity. Most people wander financially, dabbling here, trying that, hoping something sticks. But wealth doesn't come to the scattered, it comes to the focused. It comes to those who can say, this is what I want, and I will not stop until it's mine. Focus is the great multiplier of effort. It turns ordinary habits into extraordinary results. I often say, success is not difficult, it's specific. Too many people say, I just want to make more money. That's not a goal, that's a wish. You don't build wealth by hoping, you build it by designing. When I was young, my mentor once told me, set a clear target for your money and don't stop until it bows to your command. I didn't understand it then, but over time I realized clarity directs energy, and energy builds fortune. The first $100,000 is not earned through luck or random effort. It's earned through consistency in one direction. You have to choose your target and burn every bridge that leads to distraction. If you're trying to build a business, stop chasing every shiny idea. If you're working toward a career goal, stop comparing your path to everyone else's highlight reel. The mind that chases two rabbits catches none. You can't hold wealth in your hand if your attention is always somewhere else. When I set my first financial goal, I didn't make it complicated. I wrote down a number, exactly what I wanted to earn and save, and gave it a deadline. Every decision, every purchase, every hour of work had to answer one question. Does this move me closer to my goal or farther from it? If it didn't move me closer, it didn't deserve my time. That simple filter changed everything. Focus isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most again and again. And here's the truth. Focus is not natural. It's trained. We live in a world that thrives on distraction, where everyone's attention is for sale. If you don't guard your focus, the world will use it for its profit instead of yours. That's why I always tell people to build rituals around focus. Track your progress weekly, not yearly. Review your finances every Sunday night. Remind yourself daily of your why, the reason behind your goal. When you can see your destination clearly, even a long road feels shorter. There will be times you'll want to give up, when the results seem too small to matter. But remember, the first $10 saved with discipline is the seed of the next $10,000. The first step, repeated enough times, becomes momentum, and momentum is what separates the dreamers from the doers. So decide today what your number is, how much, by when, and commit to it with everything you've got. Shut out the noise, ignore the distractions, and give your best energy to one great pursuit. Because money doesn't follow movement, it follows direction. And if you stay focused long enough, the fortune will follow. Wealth doesn't begin in your wallet, it begins in your mind. You can master every financial principle, read every investment book, follow every trend, but if you can't master your emotions, your money will master you. The greatest difference between those who build lasting wealth and those who lose it is not knowledge, it's control, emotional control. Because money doesn't disappear due to bad math, it disappears due to bad moods. When I first started earning, I made decisions the way most people do, out of emotion. Excitement made me spend too soon. Fear made me sell too early. Impatience made me quit too quickly. Then I realized something simple but life-changing. Money responds best to logic, not to feelings. It has no sympathy for your impulses or excuses. You can't negotiate with it emotionally. You can only manage it intelligently. The poor let emotions drive decisions. Fear when things fall, greed when things rise. The wealthy do the opposite. They stay calm in chaos and cautious in euphoria. You see, emotional discipline is wealth discipline. When you buy something impulsively, it's not the item that costs you, it's the habit that grows behind it. Every emotional purchase, every reactive decision trains your mind to prioritize comfort over wisdom. And comfort, unchecked, is the quiet enemy of progress. I've watched people make a fortune and lose it in the same year, not because the opportunity disappeared, but because their patience did. Markets reward the calm and punish the reactive. That's why I tell people, before you build financial intelligence, build emotional intelligence. Learn to pause. Learn to wait. The ability to delay gratification is the seed of every fortune. When you can say, not now but later, you create space for your wealth to compound. I remember when I first started investing, there were months when everything in me wanted to sell, to protect what I had, to avoid loss. But I learned that the greatest returns come not from the market's performance, but from your behavior during its storms. One of the best ways to train emotional control is to track your decisions, not just what you did, but why you did it. Keep a simple journal. Write down what motivated your purchases, your investments, your financial moves. You'll start to see patterns. You'll realize how often emotion, not logic, was driving your money. Once you see it, you can change it. Awareness breaks reaction. Another practice is this: never make a financial decision in a high emotional state, whether fear or excitement. If the deal is truly good, it'll still be good tomorrow. Give yourself 24 hours. That one pause has saved fortunes. Wealth is built by those who can wait when others rush, who can stay rational when others panic. And here's the ultimate truth. Money is a mirror. It reflects who you are under pressure. If you can stay disciplined, patient, and calm when it matters most, wealth will not only find you, it will trust you. Because in the end, controlling your emotions is the same as controlling your future. The most difficult part of the financial journey isn't the million, it's the first 100,000. That first stack feels impossible, like climbing a mountain with no summit in sight. But once you reach it, something incredible happens. Momentum. Momentum is when your money begins to work harder than you do. The struggle turns into flow. The grind turns into growth. That's the turning point between earning money and commanding it. In the early days, every dollar feels heavy. You save, you sacrifice, and progress moves at a crawl. It's frustrating because results lag behind effort. You're doing everything right, budgeting, saving, investing, but the growth looks microscopic. That's where most people quit. Not because the dream is too small, but because the process feels too slow. But wealth isn't built in bursts. It's built in momentum. And momentum doesn't start big, it starts small, then multiplies. You have to push long enough for your consistency to become self-sustaining. When I first started saving, I'd put aside a few dollars from each check. Didn't look like much. But I learned that the goal isn't the size, it's the system. Once you develop the system, time and consistency handle the rest. The first 100,000 isn't the finish line, it's the ignition key. After that, compound growth starts to take over. You begin to see your investments earn while you sleep, and those earnings earn more. Suddenly, the money that once took months to save starts growing on its own. That's not luck. That's discipline turning into leverage. The problem is, most people don't stay in the game long enough for momentum to kick in. They chase excitement, not results. They invest for a season and quit before the harvest. But the wealthy understand something simple. Boredom is part of the process. They invest through it. They know that consistent, quiet deposits, week after week, month after month, are what build empires. If you can keep doing the right thing, even when it feels slow, you'll reach the point where momentum carries you further than effort ever could. The real power of the first 100,000 is not in what it buys, but in what it teaches. It proves to you that wealth responds to consistency, not intensity. It shows that results compound just like interest, slowly at first, then suddenly all at once. Once you experience that, your confidence shifts. You stop chasing quick wins and start respecting the process. You realize that time is your best partner, not your enemy. So, keep reinvesting. Every dollar of profit should go back to work. Don't interrupt the compounding process by cashing out too early. Let the wheel keep spinning. It may feel like nothing's happening for years, and then one day, it explodes into something remarkable. Momentum has taken over. The truth is, the first $100K is where you earn your freedom. Not financial freedom yet, but mental freedom. The freedom to know that wealth is no longer a mystery. You've proven the system works. After that, money works for you, not the other way around. All you have to do is keep the momentum alive. One of the hardest lessons in wealth is learning that making money and keeping money are two very different skills. Most people focus on offense, earning more, working harder, chasing new opportunities. But the wealthy know that defense wins championships. It's not enough to grow the tree, you must protect the roots. You see, money doesn't just disappear, it gets invited away by poor judgment, emotional decisions, or blind trust. Building wealth without protection is like filling a bucket full of holes. You'll never hold what you earn. In my early days, I made the same mistake many do. I thought the goal was to keep chasing income, to stay in motion. I believed that as long as I could make more, I didn't need to worry about losing any. But I learned that the faster you earn without wisdom, the faster you lose without warning. I've watched people make a fortune one year and lose it the next. Not because they lacked skill, but because they lacked protection. The rich don't only build, they defend. They understand that risk is real, that storms come, and that fortune favors the prepared. Protecting what you build begins with creating a margin of safety. Before you reach for another investment, build an emergency fund. 6 months of living expenses, untouched and sacred. That cushion buys you peace of mind. It's not just for financial security, it's for emotional stability. When emergencies come, you won't panic or make desperate moves. You'll make calm, calculated decisions, the kind that keep wealth alive. The next layer of defense is protecting your assets. Insurance isn't a luxury, it's a shield. Whether it's health, property, or income protection, you must guard the engine that produces your wealth, your ability to work, think, and create. A single accident or unexpected event can erase years of progress if you're unprepared. Wealth builders plan not only for profit but also for protection. Then comes legal and financial wisdom. Surround yourself with professionals who understand the language of money better than you do. The wealthy don't guess, they seek counsel. They have advisors, accountants, and lawyers who keep them from stepping into traps. But even then, they never surrender control. They listen, but they decide. They verify before they trust. Remember, advice is cheap, consequences are not. And perhaps the biggest threat of all is the lure of too good to be true. The market is full of shortcuts disguised as opportunities. Every generation gets its own flavor of the get-rich-quick scheme, crypto hype, penny stocks, overnight success programs, and they all sing the same siren song, easy wealth. But wealth that comes easily leaves the same way. Real money takes time, patience, and discipline. If you ever feel rushed to make a financial move, slow down. The rich don't rush. They calculate. You worked hard to build it. Now work wisely to protect it. Your wealth is not just your money. It's your energy, your discipline, your time. Guard it like something sacred, because it is. You can't grow what you can't keep, and you can't keep what you don't respect. Build your fortune, but never forget to build your fence. When you finally earn your first $100,000, something changes, not in your bank account, but in your mind. You realize it was never just about the money. It was about becoming a certain kind of person, disciplined, focused, patient, and intentional. The first $100K teaches you lessons that no book, no seminar, no mentor can truly explain until you've lived them. And here's the secret. Those lessons don't expire. The same mindset that got you to $100K is the same one that will take you to $1 million and beyond. If you abandon those principles, once you start winning, you'll soon find yourself right back where you began. The reason most people lose their wealth is not misfortune, it's forgetfulness. They forget what got them there. They forget the nights they skipped entertainment to study. They forget the mornings they disciplined themselves to save before they spent. They forget how focused they once were when the goal was survival and independence. Success can be a dangerous teacher. It whispers that you've arrived, that you can relax, that the rules no longer apply. But the truth is, the higher you climb, the more discipline it takes to stay up there. Gravity doesn't disappear with altitude. It only becomes more costly when you fall. I remember a man I once mentored, sharp, hungry, full of ambition. He built his first $100,000 in record time. But then he started to believe the story. Success told him that he was smarter than the system, that he could afford to loosen up. He began spending faster than he earned, investing in things he didn't understand, chasing status instead of stability. In just 2 years, everything he had built vanished. Not because he lacked skill, but because he lost humility. The first $100K is a test of persistence, but keeping it and multiplying it is a test of character. So how do you hold on to that mindset once you've moved past the struggle? You remember where you came from. You keep the simplicity alive. Live below your means, even when those means grow. Keep your systems of saving and investing automatic. Keep studying, not because you're behind, but because you want to stay sharp. The moment you stop learning, your wealth begins to decay quietly behind the scenes. Money grows where humility lives, and humility begins with the recognition that there's always more to learn. And don't keep it all to yourself. The highest form of mastery is teaching. Share the principles that lifted you up with your children, your team, your community. Teaching reinforces the very discipline that created your success in the first place. When you remind others to save, to invest, to stay consistent, you remind yourself of the mindset that built your foundation. That's how wealth endures across generations, not through inheritance alone, but through inherited wisdom. So, even if one day you have millions, never forget how it felt to earn that first $100K. Keep that hunger, that humility, that focus, because that mindset, not the money, is the real treasure. It's the part of you that can rebuild everything, no matter what life takes away. Stay grounded, stay grateful, and never stop becoming the kind of person worthy of abundance. Before you ever chase a fortune, you must decide what kind of person you'll be when you find it. Because money doesn't change you, it reveals you. It takes whatever you already are and magnifies it. If you're generous, it makes you more generous. If you're careless, it multiplies your mistakes. If your character is weak, wealth won't fix it, it will expose it. That's why building character must come before cash. Money can buy influence, but only character can sustain it. You can gain wealth without wisdom, but you can't keep it without integrity. In the early days of my journey, I met people who were brilliant with money but bankrupt in values. They could build a business but not trust. They could make a deal but not a promise. And in time, they always lost more than money. They lost reputation, peace, and purpose. What good is financial success if you can't sleep at night? What good is luxury if you've sold your honesty to afford it? Money is meant to serve a person of principle. Without principle, it becomes your master. When you build your character first, every dollar becomes a tool for good. Integrity attracts the kind of opportunities that shortcuts can't. People trust you. And trust is the most valuable currency in business and in life. When people know your word is good, you won't need to chase deals. Deals will chase you. It's easy to forget this when you're hungry for success. You might be tempted to cut a corner, stretch the truth, or promise more than you can deliver. But remember, every shortcut costs you something that's hard to buy back: your reputation. I once heard a wise man say it takes 20 years to build a name and 5 minutes to ruin it. And he was right. Every choice you make with money is a reflection of your character. So keep your promises, even the small ones. Pay people on time. Deliver what you said you would, even when it's inconvenient. If you make a mistake, own it quickly. There's strength in honesty. In fact, honesty is a form of wealth itself, because it builds a kind of credibility that can't be stolen or inflated away. Be patient with the process of growth. Real wealth doesn't arrive in a rush. It comes as a result of consistent, honest effort. When you begin to measure success, not just by what you earn, but by who you become, something powerful happens. You stop comparing. You stop chasing validation. You start building a foundation that lasts. Character gives your wealth purpose. It reminds you why you wanted freedom in the first place: to create, to contribute, to live with peace of mind. So before you ask, how do I make more money? Ask, who am I becoming in the process? Because when you have the right character, wealth becomes a blessing. But without it, even abundance feels empty. Build yourself stronger than your income, and your wealth will never own you. It will only serve you. There's a certain allure in the idea of easy money. That one lucky break, that perfect trade, that overnight success story. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. What comes easy, goes easy. The universe has a law. It does not reward shortcuts with permanence. It only rewards principles with prosperity. Every lasting fortune was built on patience, not luck. Easy money teaches bad lessons. It teaches carelessness, impatience, and the illusion that wealth can be harvested without roots. But real wealth has roots. It grows deep before it grows tall. I've met people who chased quick wins, and for a moment, it looked like they were ahead. They made a windfall, got excited, and thought they had cracked the code. But because their wealth wasn't built on understanding, it vanished as fast as it came. One wrong move, one bad decision, and it was gone. Why? Because they didn't grow as fast as their money did. When your bank account grows faster than your discipline, Your wealth will eventually shrink to the level of your habits. That's why the rich study the fundamentals. They understand before they act. There's no wisdom in gambling with your financial future. The stock market, crypto, real estate, these are not games of luck. They're arenas of knowledge. You must respect them enough to learn their language. Before you invest, ask yourself, do I truly understand how this works? If the answer is no, then your money is not investing, it's guessing. And guesswork is just gambling in disguise. Wealth doesn't need to be exciting. In fact, the most successful investors often find it boring. They'd rather earn slow and steady returns than chase flashy gains that disappear overnight. The key is to build things with roots, not wings. Wings can lift you up for a moment, but roots keep you standing for a lifetime. Build businesses and investments that are grounded in value, in service, in something that actually improves lives. A business with deep roots can weather storms. A man chasing wings will be blown away by the first strong wind. The people who endure in wealth are those who value stability over excitement. They understand that consistency beats brilliance when brilliance lacks discipline. When you're tempted by an opportunity that sounds too good to be true, pause. If someone promises fast profits with little risk, walk away. The rich don't fall for urgency, they move with patience. Remember, patience is the twin brother of wisdom. The longer your time horizon, the better your decisions become. You don't need to be the fastest, you just need to last. So, avoid the trap of easy money. It's a mirage that has destroyed more dreams than poverty ever could. Learn, grow, and build on a foundation of understanding. When you earn wealth through wisdom and work, it stays with you. When you chase it through shortcuts, it leaves faster than it came. Build slowly, build wisely, and what you build will endure. Time is the one currency you can never earn back. Once it's spent, it's gone forever. The poor often trade all their time trying to get money, while the rich trade money to get back their time. That's one of the great divides between struggle and success. You can lose money and recover it. You can lose opportunities and create new ones. But lose a decade, lose a few precious years to meaningless distractions, and you've lost something no amount of wealth can ever restore. That's why the rich value time far more than money, because time is the seed that produces every harvest in life. When I was young and struggling, I believed hard work alone was the secret. I worked long hours, thinking effort alone would bring results. But later I learned it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter with the time you've been given. There's no virtue in exhaustion. The real virtue lies in effectiveness. The rich understand leverage. They know how to use people, systems, and technology to multiply their output without multiplying their hours. You see, one man can dig a hole with his hands, another can use a shovel. The third, he hires 10 men with machines and gets it done in minutes. That's the difference between struggle, survival, and success, leverage. If you're spending your day on tasks anyone else could do, you're trading your most precious resource for pennies. Your goal should be to move from labor to leverage, to buy back your hours and redirect them toward vision, creation, and leadership. You don't get rich by doing more, you get rich by doing less of the unimportant things. The wealthy delegate low-value tasks without guilt. They hire help, use tools, automate systems, not because they're lazy, but because they understand opportunity cost. Every hour spent on a $10 task costs you a $100 idea. Your job is to guard your time like treasure. Protect your mornings for deep work, your evenings for reflection, and your weekends for rest. Don't fill your schedule, fill your purpose. Time management isn't about squeezing more tasks into your day. It's about expanding the quality of your focus. Ask yourself regularly, is this the best use of my time right now? And if the answer is no, stop. Redirect that energy to something that compounds over time. The wealthy also invest in tools that save time. A simple automation, a good assistant, a powerful habit, each one buys back pieces of your life. Remember, every system you build today pays you in time tomorrow. Build enough of them, and you create the freedom to think, to build, to rest, and to live life on your own terms. At the end of the day, the question isn't how much money you earned, it's how much life you truly lived. The poor chase dollars, the rich protect hours. You can always make another dollar, but you'll never make another minute. So guard it fiercely, because the moment you start valuing time over money, money begins chasing you instead. There's something deeply powerful about knowing that your life mattered beyond your own comfort. Too many people spend their days chasing income and their nights worrying about bills, never realizing that the ultimate purpose of wealth is not accumulation, it's contribution. The real measure of success isn't how much money you made while you were here, it's how much difference you made after you were gone. The rich understand that wealth is not just about possession, it's about preservation and propagation. What you build should outlive you, or else you've only rented success instead of owning it. I remember a time when I was young, chasing opportunity after opportunity, thinking that freedom was the goal. But later I discovered that freedom is only half the journey. Legacy is the destination. Freedom gives you the time to live. Legacy gives your life meaning. The question I began to ask wasn't, how much can I earn? But what will remain when I'm gone? And that's a question every serious person must ask. Because if everything you've built dies when you do, then you've only lived for yourself. But if your values, your teachings, and your principles continue shaping lives, then you've built something eternal. Money, by itself, fades fast. Economies shift, currencies change, fortunes disappear, but ideas, wisdom, and character, those compound across generations. Think about the person who taught you your most valuable lesson in life. Maybe it wasn't about money, maybe it was about integrity, discipline, or courage. That teaching lives inside you now, and through you, it will touch others. That's legacy. Wealth isn't measured only in numbers, it's measured in the ripple you leave behind. So use your wealth as a tool to empower others. Mentor someone who reminds you of your younger self, someone hungry but unsure. Pass on what you've learned through trial and error, because experience unshared is experience wasted. Start thinking beyond your lifespan. What can you build today that will continue blessing others when you're not around to see it? Maybe it's a foundation, a scholarship, a family business, or a book of lessons and principles written in your own words. Those are the assets that compound forever. Don't just leave money, leave instruction. Don't just build wealth, build wisdom. Write down the rules that governed your success. Teach your children or your mentees not just how to make money, but how to keep it, grow it, and give it. If you hand someone a fortune without philosophy, you give them a curse disguised as a gift. But if you hand them wisdom with wealth, you equip them for a lifetime of purpose. One day, all the accounts will close, and all the possessions will pass. The only thing left will be your impact. So live now with the end in mind. Build your wealth, yes, but build your legacy with even greater care. Because when the money is gone and the numbers are forgotten, what will remain is the light you left in others, and that light will keep shining long after your final day. When I first began to understand wealth, I realized something simple but profound. Money is not meant to sit still. Every dollar has potential energy, but only discipline can turn it into motion. Think of every dollar you earn as an employee. If that employee is idle, it's not adding value, it's costing you opportunity. The wealthy understand this principle deeply. They don't see money as something to be admired or hoarded. They see it as a worker that must clock in every day, producing results, creating value, and bringing more dollars back home. The poor spend their dollars and let them die. The rich give them assignments and let them reproduce. When I was young, I treated money casually. If I had it, I spent it. If I didn't, I worked harder to get it again. That cycle felt normal until I met someone who taught me that the real game of wealth isn't making money, it's multiplying it. He said, if your money isn't working while you're sleeping, you'll be working while you should be resting. That hit me like a thunderbolt. Because most people are working for their money, while the wealthy have learned to make their money work for them. The secret lies not in earning more hours of income, but in designing systems where your dollars never stop moving, never stop earning, and never stop growing. Imagine your dollars as employees in a company you own. Some might be assigned to marketing, those are your investments. Others might handle security, your emergency fund, insurance, or protection plans. Some might be in research and development, the money you spend on education, skill building, or creating new ventures. Each dollar should have a mission and a clear reason for existing. Because money without a mission is like a worker without direction. It drifts, wastes time, and eventually disappears. The reason so many people stay broke isn't lack of opportunity, it's lack of assignment. Idle money decays through inflation, bad habits, and emotional decisions. But when you give your dollars a job, when you direct them into stocks, real estate, businesses, or education, they begin to multiply. $1 earns another, then another, and soon you have a small army working for you day and night. That's how the wealthy escape the time for money trap, not by luck, but by leadership. They lead their money the way a good manager leads a team, with vision, clarity, and accountability. So don't let your money rest. Track it, direct it, and demand performance from it. Ask yourself regularly, what is this dollar doing for me? If the answer is nothing, then it's time to reassign it. Maybe it needs to go into a growth asset, or maybe it needs to reduce debt and free up future income. Whatever the case, never let your dollars wander without purpose. Because money, like people, performs best under strong leadership. When you begin treating your money as a workforce instead of a trophy, something shifts. You stop chasing wealth and start commanding it. You stop fearing expenses and start managing investments. And slowly, the balance of power changes. You no longer work for money, your money works for you. That's when freedom begins. That's when the dream of financial independence becomes reality, not because of luck or timing, but because you became the kind of leader even your dollars would want to work for. As I close, I want you to remember something simple yet powerful. Wealth isn't built in a rush, it's built in rhythm. It's the daily disciplines, the quiet sacrifices, the small consistent actions that compound into freedom. The first 100,000, the first smart investment, the first moment you say, I'll save before I spend, these are not just financial milestones, they are character milestones. Because before you can have more, you must become more. Don't wait for perfect timing. Don't wait for a raise, a miracle, or a lucky break. Start where you are with what you have and build from there. Learn the rules, respect time, and let patience be your partner. If you lead your money with discipline, it will serve you with abundance.